Good afternoon, law school, faculty, and administration, members of the class of 2014, families, and friends. Welcome to the final convocation of the class of 2014 of Cornell Law School. I am Stewart Schwab, the Allan Tessler Dean of the Law School, and I have the honor of presiding over this ceremony today. Today is a very special day for all of us as we celebrate our graduates. On this Mother's Day, it's an especially special day for the mothers who launched us and supported us, the mothers here on the stage and in the audience, the mothers watching nearby and far away, the mothers who are no longer here. I want to take a moment to thank the mother of my 8 children, my wife, Norma Schwab, Associate University Counsel here at Cornell, who is here today, for all she does for me and for them. Before we continue with this afternoon's festivities, let us all pause for a moment. As with all great celebrations in life, this graduation day causes us to reflect upon those who are no longer with us, but who we remember in our hearts. In February of this year, the law school community lost one of its own when Professor Ted Eisenberg suddenly died of a heart attack. Known as the grandfather of empirical legal studies for his pioneering efforts in that methodology, Professor Eisenberg was a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, a skilled teacher, a wonderful collaborator, a prolific scholar during his 33 years on the Cornell Law School faculty. Many of today's graduates were his students in their first-year contract law. I ask that we take a moment of silence to honor his memory. Thank you. These last 3 years have been a whirlwind of activity, of intellectual growth for our JD graduates, both in and out of class. Our LLM graduates have had a similar whirlwind and done it in only 1 year. Graduates, you could not have done it alone. It has taken the support of friends and families, siblings, spouses, partners, parents. Graduates, before we celebrate your accomplishments and talk about your road ahead, I invite you to take a moment to thank your friends and family with a round of applause. Our goal at Cornell Law School has been to enable you to become lawyers in the best sense. It's our tagline, often used, some suggest overused, but I think not. Good marketing requires repetition. The line comes from Cornell's first president, Andrew Dixon White. In 1885, President White set forth the goals for the then new Cornell Law School. His words remain as true today as when he articulated them nearly 130 years ago. His words are worth repeating. Our aim should be to keep its instruction strong, its standard high, and so to send out not swarms of hastily prepared pettifoggers, that's for the other law schools, but rather a fair number of well-trained, large-minded, morally based lawyers in the best sense, who, as they gain experience, may be classed as jurists and become a blessing to the country at the bar, on the bench, and in the various public bodies. 129 years later, as we look out on the class of 2014, it's not a swarm, it's not a bunch of pettifoggers, definitely not. I see lawyers in the best sense. Who is a lawyer in the best sense? Well, first, such a lawyer is well-trained and takes pride in legal craftsmanship, who is technically sophisticated, But superb technical training is not enough to be a lawyer in the best sense. Second, such a lawyer has a sensitive moral compass, is ethically prepared. The practice of law is an ethically challenged career. Lawyers are always responsible for their actions. They never just follow orders. Every day you will have to reconcile your duties to promote your client's interests with other duties to yourself, to your communities, to the legal profession, to the larger society. I hope that you will feel that struggle every day. If you do not feel that struggle, you should worry about what you've become. But third, a large-minded lawyer in the best sense not only takes pride in craftsmanship, not only is ethically sensitive, but also has a broad understanding of the role of law in society, at home and around the world, and is an active force for good. Looking out at the eager faces before us, I believe we have succeeded in nurturing lawyers in the best sense. Faculty and administrators, we should be proud of this achievement. Now, graduates, during your time at the law school, you've honed your capacity for critical analysis to a razor-sharp edge. You've become adept at fashioning a powerful counter-argument to any argument. I'm sure your friends and family have noticed this enhanced ability. Perhaps they've even found it a bit tiresome as you practice it on them. I picture you sitting at the breakfast table, taking on your professor's role. Your companion says, "I like waffles." You immediately respond, "Oh, do you? Do you really like all waffles? Is there not at least one kind of waffle within the generic term waffle that you do not like? Exactly what do you mean by the term waffle anyway? Are you waffling?" you tell your companion in your answer. This ability to probe into questions a powerful skill. In law school, you have come to know that issues are more complicated than they often appear at a distance. You've come to see that good and admirable people may hold different and inconsistent perspectives on a complex problem. But you must not be content with that insight. You must not just relish the question, but also seek resolutions. Members of the class of 2014, perhaps the most important part of your experience are the friends that you have made during your time in Myron Taylor Hall. I recall welcoming you at a speech at orientation, just as you were beginning your time here. As I recall, I urged you to speak up, to let yourself be pushed, to make mistakes. I also asked that you look to the student to your left and to your right. I predicted, as you may recall, that you would make a friend and a professional comrade. Today I ask you again to take a moment now to look to your left, to look to your right, and to congratulate your fellows on having made it to this day. But also remind your neighbor, the journey is just beginning.